I have a question. Does your wishlist look like this because there are way too many great games coming out? Yeah, I know, and I have good news because here are 12 upcoming indie games you probably haven't heard of, and that deserve a spot on that list. What indie games are you most looking forward to? Let us all know your indie recommendations in the comments, and let me know your thoughts on the games in this video. Let's start off with Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, which is easily one of my most anticipated indie games of 2025, and I'll tell you why. The first Moonlighter had this cool unique RPG roguelike thing going on, where you go into several dungeons at night and sell your loot in your own shop during the day. This loot, however, is also for upgrading and crafting new weapons and armor. So it's all about going in, getting as far as you can, sell stuff, get stronger, and repeat. For Moonlighter 2, it seems like we're getting the same addictive gameplay loop, which couldn't be more exciting. The major change for the sequel are the graphics. That doesn't just mean the game looks new and great, but also that combat will feel drastically different. Oh, and last but not least, you can invest in expanding the village, giving you access to new shops and all kinds of stuff. Honestly, Moonlighter 1 is one of my favorite indie games, so I'm absolutely ready for the sequel. I'm not kidding when I tell you that Shape of Dreams will be the best roguelike since Hades. And I know that because there is a free prologue on Steam with a lot of content. Shape of Dreams is a unique co-op action roguelike that controls a lot like a MOBA. What makes this game so incredibly fun are the very distinct characters that all follow their role as tanks, ranged DPS, support and so on. Every character feels drastically different to play, thanks to their unique mechanics. Just as in many other roguelikes, skills you obtain during a run are random, but the real fun starts with the so-called essences. These are jewels you can attach to your skills, and they are effects that alter your skills in meaningful ways, like adding healing or an additional charge. Since you can equip 3 different essences on one skill, the possibilities to create an unstoppable powerhouse are endless. The result is a combat system and gameplay loop that feels insanely addictive and very unique each time. The mix of character-specific and overall progression is extremely motivating. Honestly, the prologue is insanely fun already, so I can't wait for this game to come out. What I love about indie games so much is how developers constantly come up with great unique ideas. Keep Driving is a game about a road trip to a friend's house, but as a mix of an RPG and management game. Your goal is to drive from the north to the south of the country. The challenge is how you do that. You need to keep an eye on energy, fuel, car damage, and your money, but also obstacles along the way, like slow driving trucks, groups of sheep, fallen trees, and so much more. These obstacles are turn-based battles that basically play out like a puzzle, where your skills need to match the symbols at the bottom of the screen. On the way, you can pick up hitchhikers that add new skills, take a day job for extra money, shop for resources, upgrade your car, and so much more. Speaking of upgrades, did you know that you can upgrade to a subscriber by hitting this cute button if you're enjoying this video? No? Yeah, now you know. I already played the demo on Steam and I can tell you that what sounds weird totally works. This game is so much fun and the early 2000s inspired indie soundtrack is beautiful and perfectly fitting for the road trip you're on. Keep Driving is a relaxing, unique and super fun game. Keep an eye on this. Die in a Dungeon is a really cool roguelite, and the demo got me hooked. We've seen a lot of turn-based roguelikes with cards and deck building mechanics in the past. In Die of the Dungeon, combat works with dice. Each type of dice has a specific purpose, like attacking, blocking, healing and so on. The trick is to combine dice on a grid to maximize their effects. The result is a turn-based combat that feels like a puzzle on the one side, and on the other side super satisfying because building the deck takes a lot of preparation. So yeah, deck building is key here as well, to find synergies between the dice and be prepared for all kinds of combat situations. The core gameplay is probably inspired by Slay the Spire, as enemy actions are displayed in a similar way, but simply changing from cards to dice is enough to make this one of the most interesting upcoming roguelites. What do you get when you combine a tactical JRPG with the calendar and school system from the Persona series? Right, you get something like Demonschool. The combat system is actually pretty unique as characters interact contextually with their environment. Enemies will be struck, objects move, or the character would simply dash. Planning the moves of each character to create combos is easily the best and most satisfying part here. Besides combat, you can build relationships with up to 15 characters, which will work similarly to Persona. Same goes for attending classes in school, only that this is in your hands, as making a school schedule is up to you, and what classes you decide to attend has an effect on the skills you learn. I gotta be honest, while playing the demo, this all was a bit complicated for me. But I'm old and stupid sometimes. What I do know is that this can be something really special regardless. So if you like Persona and tactical JRPGs, Demonschool might be up your alley. Okay, I'm cheating a little bit, since Chain Echoes Ashes of Elrant isn't a game, but rather a DLC for one of the best indie games ever made. So I just had to include it. If you don't know Chain Echoes, this is an indie JRPG solo developed by Matthias Linder and released in 2022. And simply one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. Ashes of Elrant will feature a brand new story, a bunch of new areas, new enemies, new music, new minigames, and even a couple of new mechanics. We will now be able to walk across the world map, and we will get a new talent system. This one grants new talents like the ability to talk to animals, go fishing, and use a brewery pot. Whatever that is, but it sounds exciting. That's basically all we know so far, but also all we need to know, because it's more Chain Echoes, and that can only be a good thing. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a new game by the devs of Blasphemous, and it's a fast-paced 2D action platformer. That means this isn't a Metroidvania, but rather an entry in the Ninja Gaiden series that aims to combine the classic old-school feeling of the series with modern precision. The result will be a super challenging game, with which the devs try to hit that sweet spot of easy to learn but hard to master. Oh, and did I mention that this game is extremely bloody? The animations in this are simply gorgeous. There are many games like this nowadays, so if you're looking for that challenging platforming gameplay from the early 90s, look no further and add Ninja Gaiden Ragebound to your wishlist. A lot of roguelikes in today's video, but I promise this one is pretty unique as well. Because Coromon Rogue Planet aims to combine classic roguelike gameplay with monster collecting elements we all know from Pokemon. I think this hasn't been done before. At the beginning of your run, you have to choose a starter Coromon and one of the 7 playable characters that all come with their own unique playstyle. Defeating Coromon in the turn-based combat system that relies on the classic elemental weaknesses we all know gives you a chance to catch them. That way, you can build a team on the go, and the fact that there are over 130 Coromon to fight and tame promises a lot of variety. A meta progression system allows consistent improvements in skills and abilities to become more powerful over time. All of that sounds great, and I can't wait to get my hands on this. I love it when devs don't even try to hide what their inspirations are. Swarm will hit early access soon, and it's clearly inspired by Hades. Only that this has a clear focus on co-op gameplay. And honestly, this couldn't be more of a straightforward roguelike than it is. If you played Hades, combat will feel very familiar, only that it's a bit slower, which is quite nice, as this makes things a bit easier. There are multiple characters to choose from that all feel and play very differently. Considering that there are over 200 unique so-called blessings you can combine with your character skills and weapons, the customization options are sheer endless, which should guarantee some long-term motivation. I played the demo for a bit and I'm definitely looking forward to playing this with my friends. And if you're into Hades, you should give this one a try. Isle of Reveries is a Zelda-like that is very obviously inspired by Zelda titles on the Game Boy. This features 8 distinct dungeons, all with one key item to find that is useful both in combat and for solving puzzles. We used the Fairy Companion to copy and spawn various objects found in the world, which sounds like the Echo mechanic in Echoes of Wisdom. The ability to jump actually makes this a pretty dynamic experience, and dungeons seem to be as puzzle heavy as older Zelda titles, which I love. Honestly, I kinda miss the Goro Zelda times, so it's awesome to get a game that tries to capture that feeling. Go check out the demo on Steam if you want to give it a try. Duat Beayond Light and Shadow is a gorgeous looking pixel art RPG inspired by Egyptian culture. Besides some great looking action combat, we will solve a lot of environmental puzzles and get our way through challenging platforming sections. The trailer shows some great movement, so I think we can expect some fun traversal. From what I understand, the protagonist has some kind of portal power that allows him to move around the environment freely, which sounds like it will be a quite easy thing to move around. If games like these are up your alley, the best way to support the devs is wishlisting this game on Steam. This beautiful hand-drawn Metroidvania is called Solateria, and while this may seem to be inspired by the Ori series, this comes with some cool ideas that all revolve around fire and heat. What that means for combat is that you need to build up your heat by parrying attacks, which then allows you to unleash powerful fire attacks. Successfully parrying specific attack patterns triggers even more powerful special skills, so getting good with the system is key to victory. While all of that looks cute, I think this is aiming to be a quite challenging Metroidvania, and I'm definitely ready for this. Alright, that's the list. 12 upcoming awesome indie games. What game on this list would you add to your wishlist? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe if you love indie games, RPGs, Metroidvanias, and videos about these kinds of games. Alright, thanks so much for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.